Report. So the Constitution of Kenya 2010 is only 10 years old this week, but a new campaign is gathering pace with the aim of making changes to the Constitution. President Uhuru Kenyatta and former Prime Minister Raila Odinga are at the forefront of the clamor for constitutional change, both urging Kenyans to avoid constitutional rigidity, even though details of the proposed changes are yet to be known. As those calls mount, Stephen Letoo retraces the journey walked by the Constitution of Kenya 2010.
When Kenyans were agitating for a new constitution, there was darkness in the country. But in August 2010, when Kenyans promulgated a new constitution, there was light. Kenya became bright. The then President Mwai Kibaki was the man of the moment, lifting the constitution high, and cheers and a feeling of a rebirth of a nation. The 2010 constitution was realized after 3 decades of agitation of a new order by politicians, civil society, and the international community. But the struggle was divided with 2 opposing sides emerging. Tupitishe turekebishe, the yes side, and turekebishe tupitishe, the no side. 10 years later, calls for fresh changes are being made by the country's top politicians. Early campaigns to change the constitution never took off, from Okoa Kenya in 2014 to Punguza Mizigo in 2019. All their attempts to push for a referendum to amend the supreme law flopped. And now, the Building Bridges initiative by President Uhuru Kenyatta and ODM leader Raila Odinga slowly gaining momentum, but so is the opposition to BBI.
Who mobilized the people who came to this podium? Because if this podium is going to be used to lecture the people...
Changing the constitution is not something that we can decide as a party, because it is something for all Kenyans to do. It is not something that I can say my legacy is to change the constitution.
Me and the president are in complete concurrence on the issue of the BBI.
With the backing of the state machinery, ODM leader Raila Odinga began rallying the country behind the BBI through a series of rallies. Kisii, Kakamega, Mombasa, Garissa, Kitui, Meru.
Nobody can stop reggae. Nobody can stop reggae. Nobody can stop reggae. 'Cause reggae is strong. Nobody can stop reggae. Nobody.
All these meetings drumming up support for constitutional changes and building a momentum for a referendum. In the BBI, changes to the structure of government has been proposed by introducing a Prime Minister slot and its 2 deputies. The Prime Minister will be appointed by the President and can be fired and will sit in Parliament.
We propose an expansion of the executive by providing for the President, Deputy President, a Prime Minister and 2 deputies.
Our 2010 Constitution must be looked into it afresh. And looking back, it's, for me as a participant in Naivasha, it's a regrettable decision that we made, because we abandoned a structure of representatives of the whole country who sat in Bomas, who for almost 1 year painstakingly went through chapter by chapter and advised the country that you must have a mixed system. All of a sudden, as members of parliament, we threw caution to the wind, we picked expediency as the driving force and said, let's finish quickly pure presidential, let's go and bite the bullet.
Those pushing for the changes in structure of government claim winner takes it all has divided the country after every election.
We must open up governance, not a winner takes it all system. We must discard that, where one wins and he takes it all. And then they go and sit down and he says, look, you helped me, we were two, and all these government seats will be allotted amongst the two communities.
Because people feel, if your person is not elected, then you have no space. And I think that should never be the case.
This is wrong. This is wrong. That is why we are saying we have to expand the governance area.
The cry for constitutional reform is driven by two men. I've said many times, it's a desire by Uhuru and Raila to change the constitution against the will of the Kenyan people. The Kenyan people have not said they want the constitution to be changed.
If that document inafinya mtu kwa mguu pali fulani, we must look at it. We must address it. If certain sections of Kenyans feel that viatu inafinya and the viatu is the KATIBA, we must look at it. He's a Kenyan. He's entitled to it. He has a right.
Some people saying that this has been the most, BBI has been the most participatory. BBI has been the most useless process that we've ever had in this country. It comes nowhere. BBI is not even 1% of the CKRC process led by Yashpal Guy.
In the proposed changes, the bicameral system of parliament has been highlighted as one of the areas that must be adjusted, with the Senate pushing to be an upper house and cabinet secretaries appointed from the National Assembly.
The whole conundrum that continue to afflict Parliament today, the dichotomy between the National Assembly and the Senate, is a result of the myopia expressed at that time by people not realizing that you are not making a constitution to protect the current members of Parliament. You are making a constitution to give Kenya a good Parliament, a good House of Representation. And so the question of which is the upper house, because it must be answered, it should have been answered, was left silent.
In fact, I can tell you, if the Senate was structured to be a Senate, in the true sense of the word, we wouldn't even be having this problem of division of revenue.
The Senate normally would be positioned as a higher house.
The 2010 Constitution introduced devolution, establishing 47 county governments, but with term limits for governors pegged at 2 terms of 5 years each. Outgoing governors want to craft their way back to the devolution fold, majority of them proposing introduction of a third tier of government that will be comprised of regional governments headed by regional prime ministers.
The people, of course, are urging that there be an establishment of a federal system of government where there will be regional governments who are retaining the county governments.
Mumeamua mtaka kuwa na regional government. Hata sisi kule tunaunga mkono mambo ya regional government.
The mark of a good constitution maker is the ability to look long beyond themselves, so that you look at the architecture of the constitution and then you remove yourself from the picture.
Should the BBI process be dealing with issues related to location of resources like you saw in the Senate, representation, to disadvantage other parts of this country, is dead on arrival. It is going nowhere.
If there are some Kenyans who feel that this document is good, 80%, we need to look at the 20% that is not feeling good about. They have every right that to happen.
Then there is the contentious 2/3 gender rule that has remained a dream for women in the country.
Tuseme haya executive iwe extended, utakuwa na president na deputy. Tukienda njia ya gender, according to the constitution, itakuwa mwanaume ama mwanamke ndiye president, mwenzake ni opposite gender. Prime Minister 2 deputies, the same.
In fact, for the first time as women, let us all go into this competition. But then let the political parties also appreciate when women are going for this competition, we want a competition that is free and fair.
Nobody puts it better than Right Honorable Raila Odinga when he talks about the story of women and getting elected. He talks about a woman like myself leaving their home in Kisumu County and getting married in Homa Bay County and competing against a man who was born there 50 years ago.
With 2 years to the next general election, questions linger whether this will be the best time to conduct a referendum. Odinga says this is the time. President Kenyatta says time is now.
The moment to improve on it, I believe, is now.
No one can stop reggae.
No one can stop reggae. Nobody can stop reggae. Nobody can stop reggae. Nobody will stop reggae.
That one I had foreseen it earlier that nobody can stop reggae.
Nobody can stop reggae. Nobody can stop reggae. Nobody can stop reggae.
With now the clamor for the change of the constitution, those pushing saying they will be pushing the country to climb a ladder. But critics who oppose amending the 2010 constitution say it will be clawing back the gains that the 2010 constitution has already made. So which way, KATIBA? Stephen Letoo, Citizen TV.